All right, I think 5 minutes is long enough to wait on me to get started. So turn the music down a little bit. I don't know, maybe it doesn't need to be down. There we go. Yeah. Anyway. Well, I can't see the chat. It's annoying. Oh well, I'll check it out here and there. So yeah, I'm gonna make a map for, I don't even know what for, honestly. I have a beta access. That's cool. Campaign that I do with some kids, my niece and nephew. That's where I got the term Uncle Dungeon Master from. They started it, and so I've got a game coming up. Hopefully, we'll get to play next week sometime. I don't know if it'll be next Sunday. It'll be next weekend sometime. But anyway, I'm planning to enjoy some D&D with them. And in our current story, they're just battling these giant apes in a forest where everything's massive. All the trees are gigantic, like buildings. I explained it like skyscrapers. And so they're enjoying that. But so what they're about to encounter a camp with these giant trees, and everything's giant, and a big cyclops is going to be there. Whoa, I just smacked my mic stand. But a big cyclops will be there. And so yeah, they're going to have to deal with that. So I'm going to go ahead and keep recording this just in case. But so probably going to build a map for them to face this giant camp where they're going to be fighting against a cyclops. So we're going to start by turning on the grid because I want to see the sizing is a big deal here. The grid helps me do that. Again, just in case you have never seen my videos before, just a few I've posted about making dungeon maps. I do not like spending a long amount of time on the Hired Swords is watching. That's the podcast I Dungeon Master for. Hello, I believe that is my cousin Blaze, who plays Kriggs, checking it out. But anyway, I was saying something. Oh, I typically build maps quickly. I don't try to make works of art. Typically, my maps are used one time and then not again, because I only have a couple of parties that I play with. So I've used some random encounter maps multiple times by just doing little edits here and there and then dropping them back in. Because a forest is a forest. You just can change the path or something. But anyway, so I'm going to be building quickly. I'm not worried so much about perfection. I don't have time for that. I literally finished cleaning my house about an hour ago. Look at that. That is great. That just looks like floor already. I love it. I'm going to turn off the softness because I do not want faded edges. The whole thing is just going to be the same, so I don't care. I'll use something to make some parts lighter and darker and shadows and stuff like that later, but like I said, I'm not going to go too crazy with it because I just need a functional map. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and start adding trees. Top down is great. I love top down. That's kind of how these trees should be more like, pine tree kind of stuff. Although that looks more jungly, the floor does, doesn't it? Stink. Perhaps I should make different choices. Kevin, what's up, buddy? Perhaps I should make different choices with my plants or my floor. Well, we'll see how it looks and then maybe go back. So these trees are massive. So this tree right here, the at its main width would be 20 feet wide. I want a lot bigger than that. But thankfully, because the grid is so small, I have room to grow with these trees. Look at that. That's a little more like what I want. Man, maybe a little too big. Let's go down to about size 200, double the size. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yeah, 45, 50 feet across. That only makes the trunk still not that big. We are going to go to 300. Look at this. But we're not going to have a ton of trees because, like I said, we're not going to have a ton of trees because it's a camp. So they've got like tents and stuff in the middle. So boom, there's a tree. It's going to randomly select a different tree and rotate here and there for me, which is very nice. Because that way they don't all look exactly the same. Put another tree there. A giant tree there. Oh, look at how big that guy is. That's a big old tree. He's going to go here. I'll put this one there. All right, and then I need to start building the camp. And maybe I could have put the camp first. I think they have some Valentine's holiday stuff here. Look at this. They always mix it up. New things here and there. But anyway, so if I find a tent, because I'm going for camp, I could just type in tent. Let's just do search. Why rush it? Or why take forever? See that tent right there? 20, 25, 30. That's a 50-foot wide tent. Like that would hold a whole bunch of people, but one giant person, right? 55 feet in length. So 55-foot tall giant. You know what we're going to do? We're going to see how tall an actual giant is in D&D. Oops. I've got a headphone cable across my keyboard. It's messing me up. I know there's multiple kinds of giants. We're going to call it a hill giant this time. Actually, it's a cyclops that we're going for. So we know they're large, but they may not give me like feet in height or inches. You're going to hear my kids laughing and having a good time. Hey, there we go, the height chart. Images. What's this guy? Oh, there we go. So up to 21 feet. Yeah. So 50 foot is even a little big for it, because we're talking like stone giant kind of big. Up to 14 feet. Yeah. Cyclops is probably close. Maybe even smaller. Cyclops may be more like 9 or 10 feet. How tall is a Cyclops? I don't know. Well, that's going to be fine. I got what I need. So we can make this even smaller. So let's put it like this. Oh, and actually in the adventure, now that I think about it, it's not Cyclops who are staying here. They have captured a Cyclops, the giants that are staying here. So they're actually frost giants. Now that I wrap my mind around what's actually happening here. So, okay, so 15, 20. So that's going to be a little big still. We'll go down just a little bit more. Okay, I might be spending even more time than I usually spend on the details, the specifics. Okay, here's something that is irritating me. I got to fix right now. The grid, I do not like the grid on top of my artwork. It's got to be on top of the ground, but not the artwork. So if I go to grid, and I go here to the layers, I'm going to drop that all the way down. Boosh. Look at that. Now everything sits on top of the grid. Oh, it's so easy. Yet I see so many people posting their artwork. Well, artwork. They think they try to make it like artwork. But they post their stuff on Inkarnate for you to like go in and look at or edit or use. And all the grid is on top of everything. And I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Because then in Roll20, you can put the grid on top, make the grid disappear on Roll20, so everything snaps to grid, but it doesn't look like it's, all on top there where your artwork stands out a little better. Any questions? Oh, okay, no questions, just comments about things being large. Classic. Okay. I was here looking for a campfire. That's what I want now. It's a campfire. It's going to be going. Look at this. I'm going to search it too. Campfire. It's going to be actually going. Orc campfire? Yeah, that's a good idea because it's going to be I don't know, not large necessarily, but like have, oh, look at that, skulls and stuff. That's actually quite neat. Let's go down to 130 for the size. A little big still. Let's go down to 95. That's a little more reasonable in relation to the tents, yeah? If I zoom in, should be an HD, editing in HD here, so yeah, it's pretty good. Let's turn it so it doesn't seem so exact with the tents. These giant guys are, maybe it's a 10-foot diameter fire. 10-foot diameter fire is a big fire. All right. Cool. So there's the camp, the campfire. What else are they gonna have? Maybe they have some chests and things out because they travel with stuff. Let's see. Let's see what else they have here. Let's see what else they have. Thank you, Kevin. You don't know what I'm used to. You don't know what I'm used to. Yeah, Blaze. People sometimes bring things to camps, you know. This isn't going to be an abandoned campsite. They're actively using it. Which, yes, on the Hired Swords episodes, the campsite was abandoned. So we're going to do chests, but not fancy. That looks too fancy. I don't like the fanciness. Let's go. Is there like a basic? That's more basic. I like that. That is a 10-foot wide chest. Their chests are going to be 15 feet wide. Much larger. They're going to sit right outside the tent here. Like they have to go around the edge of the tent to get the thing. And you see this? Okay, I'm going to draw your attention to this. Just in case you're learning anything from watching this, trying to. So I need this to look like it's lower than the tent. So I just move it down a layer. And it's going to put the tent shadow and stuff over the top of it. It just makes it look a little bit more realistic to me. So yeah, I do that. I do that them things. Like I said, I'm not trying to make art, but I don't know. Some things make better sense than others. As far as like less disbelief you have to suspend. That's good. Over there, another tree there and there. See, that tree should be under the other tree because this tree is ginormous. I made that word up. There we go. Looks kind of weird being under that tree like that. I don't like it. Bye. Bye. Okay. And I do want to change the floor to something a little more green. So we're going to go to the painting kind of floor. Grass textures, forest texture. That's probably more what I'm wanting. This forest floor. Yeah. So, here we go. Boo. Okay. I don't know. I still don't know, man. That's really dark. It's really dark. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play with the advanced settings here. I'm going to add some filters. I'm going to make it a little bit of a greener hue. Green. And I'm going to saturate that a little more green. Yep. I'm going to increase the brightness a little bit. Yep. And then I'm going to repaint. Oh, that's better. And look, what I'm going to do is, though, I'm going to leave a few of these patches of darkness, like where the tree, under the trees and stuff. How about that? Give it a holding spacebar, click and drag in order to move the map over. So there you go. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm happy with that. Happy? Yeah, that looks a lot better to me. Although, it's fine. You can also change like the size of like the bits here. So, but I think that fits the trees and stuff pretty well. And again, I'm not trying to get too crazy with my. Does that make more sense? Yeah, it's probably a little better. I'm just gonna go over the whole thing again. Boop, 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 boop. Getting a little nitpicky. It's a little nitpicky. It's the kind of stuff that the players are never gonna notice, especially my players, because they're flipping children. But oh, I'm gonna soften this one up because I'm gonna put the darkness around here, but it's gonna be softer, so it fades into the greener ones. So it's a little bit less bright green where the trees are growing, as to give a sense of shadow, and you know, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I want this to be a little bit lit up, which they have light options you can use. I'm looking at the time because I have somewhere to be in a little bit. Light options. Not kite, light, fat fingers. So here we go, orange light, because it's a, so see, you can use that. But what I'm going to do is, this one's a little bigger. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to drop it beneath the campfire. Yeah. So it gives us a nice golden hue. How about that? Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. So this, to me, this is like a ready-to-use battle map. Like, I could drop my players in here, and they could fight a stinking Cyclops right here, and they'll be like, that was really awesome. And if I have time, and I'm into it, and interested in spending a little more time on it, I could throw some more stuff up there, but... Hey, great episode, by the way. Thanks. An ambient glow broader than the one being cast by the campfire. Yeah, you could play around with the glow and stuff a little bit. I mean, I can show you this. This is what I would probably do to try to do that. I would use the same light that I used. Whoops. I don't want to select one. I already have it. Same light that I used, but I would make it bigger. Whoop. Just a little bit. That's a little bigger. And a little more transparent. So it would be a little more subtle. And then I'm going to place it, and after I place it, I'm going to spread it out even more. So the glow, the hue of the glow kind of spreads more throughout. I think that's what you meant. Something like that. So yeah, you get the little orange hue even further around the campfire. Is that what you meant, Blaze? Is that what you meant? Hired swords? Oh yeah, just paint the tents themselves so they look like they've got glow on them, kind of thing. That's doable. I could do this. I can play with, I think that's what you're saying. Again, play with, sorry, I'm responding to Blaze's ideas. And this is stuff that I don't do a lot of because, as I said, I don't take a lot of time. Ooh, I made this very huge. So I can go down... I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Gotta bring it up a layer though. It's pretty heavy duty. Probably don't want it that bright. I don't know. A little softer, which I could do with this here. Put it on the tent itself. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I'm actually going to copy that, paste it over here, rotate it to make sense with this other tent, and adjust it there. Cool. Huh. I probably wouldn't have thought of that idea. I wouldn't have taken the time. The trees could get a little bit of that too, that hue probably, if I want to get more detailed. See that? Look, that's the kind of stuff that guys do. Well, this needs to be expanded a little bit. It's got, see, this is when I get nitpicky and it takes me so much time that I'm like, I don't want to make a map anymore. This is why my ADD requires that I do them quick. This isn't something I laser focus on, the design of the map. I can get laser focused, but not usually on the designing of the map part. Let's see if it can look good on the tree. There's probably better ways to do this too, but... Whoops. Dang it. I selected the wrong thing. Oh, no, that's right. Okay. Up a layer, 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 up a layer. That's as high as it goes. So this guy can go down one layer to get... Oh, what on earth? I want to shine on the trace. That's on layer 1. That's on layer 5. Interesting. Oh no, that does shine on the tree. It just was being... it just wasn't... Oh no, it's just not very easy to see. Gotcha. It's just not super bright. That's pretty close to the tree to build a campfire anyway. Yeah, well, there you go. There's some ideas. But yeah, this will be a fun thing to... I don't know, maybe there's some other stuff. Let's put... Actually, I need something for the Cyclops to be tied to. I mean, he could be tied to a tree. Let's look up a stump. A stump. Tree stump. There's one. Very big. Let's put it over here. We're going to make it smaller. Like that. We're going to drop it so it's under the other trees. Like that. Cool, cool. We can have the Cyclops over here tied to that, and then the Giants in here hanging out. Whatever. Fighting. Fighting into fighting. Cool. That was a good idea, Blaze. Oh yeah, I got ideas. Yeah, there's a lot of cool artistic things you can do in Inkarnate that they've added. I, you know, like I said, I don't have the time or really the creative mind to think of those things. Often when I want to do shadow, I'll go to a dark, one of these darker options and just play with the, like, mess with the floor. That's just shadow. There you go. And I'll make it not much opacity, soft, and I'll just kind of do this with the trees. And see, it kind of creates that shadow underneath them. Let's look at that. It's going on the background. I want it on the foreground. This is a foreground. That's what was going on there. What is happening? Why in heaven's name? It's too much opacity. There we go. That was on the foreground. That's my, or background. That's my bad. That's my bad. I say things like I know what I'm saying and then I screw it up. But hey, classic Michael. See, yeah. We'll put the shadows on this backside here. Even the shadow behind the tent as it gets darker from the fire back there. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Cool. That'll be a little bit more of a intense feeling fight. And what's crazy is my players' tokens are going to fit in one of these squares, right? So when we zoom into fight, and they're in one of these little squares, and that giant takes up like a 3x3. The Cyclops would be like a 3x3, and the giant would be like a 4x4 square, which would fit inside the tent pretty nicely. That'll be a fun battle. They'll feel pretty excited about that, I think. Yeah. Got to keep an eye on the clock here because I got to take the kids for ice cream later. I made them a promise. If they kept the kitchen clean, all week long, we go to Andy's. So that's pretty fun. So how long have I been doing this? Let me look at how long I've been streaming. I streamed 5 minutes before I started actually building. 30, so 25 minutes from nothing to this. And thanks to Blaze's cool idea with the lights, it's even better than most of the ones I make. I'm going to put this in a Google Drive, and there'll be a description in the video if you want to use this. There'll be a link in the description of the video if you want to use this map. Let me show you this here. It's 40 by 40. So when you drop it in Roll20, you just set the dimensions of the map for 20 by 20, and the grid should fit pretty easily. There may be a little tweaking you have to do, but it should fit pretty nicely. And then you're able to make there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube of how to make a map work in Inkarnate or in Roll20. The big thing with Roll20 is you've got to know the dimensions of the map of the squares, because that just gives you a huge head start on making it fit properly and do what you want to do. So maybe someday I'll make that video too, but that video exists. And really the only reason I even make these is because, number one, it gets me doing something and maybe hopefully talking to some people here and there, like today. Thanks Kevin and Blaze. But also like it gets me actually making the maps, and it does more than just, you know, sitting by myself. Anyway, Blaze recommended some different textures on ground. I've done that before. You can see that on some of the other maps I've made too. I can look at like a dirt texture, something like muddy, or something like that. There's even some stuff we could add, like rocks and stuff separately, because, you know, there's going to be rocks and bushes and things like that in the forest as well. There's a lot of different things we can do. Let me just real quick go with this more dirt looking forest floor. Decrease the size and the opacity and just make little patches of this. I think is kind of what you were saying, which is something I've done on some of the other videos I've made. Like especially right here. Let's say like these guys walk around this campfire a lot, right? They've been using this space, so their feet kind of turn this more into a used space. It's less green, right? And then even paths like into the tent, into this tent, they're gonna walk this way a lot more. This is a little too transparent. Gonna walk that way a lot more. Some stuff here because they've been sitting with that Cyclops. So yeah, there's some, and my thing is, I'm not always trying to make artwork, like I said, but I do like for it to make sense. Like what I'm making makes sense. I think the players are going to come in from the top part of this map here, the north. So I'm going to make like a path, a big path that they're walking on here. And then I like to do something like this too. Go back to the original, the regular floor that we've been using. And go ahead and make it a little softer, but and then kind of break this up. It's not a perfect path, right? It's not. So yeah, just break that up a little bit, make it a little patchy, like my beard when I try to grow one. Patchy. Mr. Mimkins is here. Hi. You'd walked in paths, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna save this. I haven't saved once, which is bad news. I'm gonna name this Giant Camp. Giant Camp. So you can have a nice little battle right here, right? I imagine the tent's getting set on fire. Probably in those boxes are some giant like hiking tools, things like that. Stuff that, hey, you hear my vacuum? Dobby's here, my vacuum. That's funny, he's loud. Why are you in here, Dobby? He's the floor elf, the cleaning elf. But Kevin, we're gonna be at Andy's, I imagine around 6 o'clock. If you're there, you're there, you know, what can I say? If you happen to be there, you're there. Hey, stalkers. You don't know what Andy's is. In your face. Oh, all right. I may be wrapping this up. I've saved it. It's saved in 3K. I was gonna add. See, here I go. See, I get now. Now I'm getting interested in other things. Like there's okay. So how about some bramble? There's some bramble. Too large. These are these ones that. No, they're not. No, they're not. But they do make, these are random though. So I like the random ones because you click it and then it automatically changes to a different one. There's some brambles. They're pretty good sized brambles, right? There's a little bit of them here too. under the trees. The trees is kind of like where there's wildness, right? This bramble is an unruly bramble that needs to go beneath that part of the stump. But the rest of them can kind of be climbing the stump. And then instead of now there's bramble, but there's also down here in the forest. Look, there's cobwebs. There's also some little bushes and things and vines. How about forest floor plants? There's different kinds of forest floor plants. Maybe this one, it's right in the middle of them brambles, right in the middle. And this one, a lot of times, these plants don't grow as much where the trees are because the trees don't allow them to have sunlight. So the brambles are there because they don't maybe need as much sunlight, or they did, and now they're dead brambles. I also see these usually in nature clump, right? So there might be one solo here and there, but usually they kind of clump up together. And there's 3 or 4 of them all together. And this doing the whole automatically randomly going between the 5 makes it really nice to just select or just keep clicking and adding. I'm going to put a couple of these in these brambles. Hey, not under the brambles, you silly brambles trying to take over the world. That's what they do. Actually, maybe I don't have the brambles. I've selected the forest floor plant, so it's going to go up layers. There we go. I've selected, this time, thorn bushes. You're going down a layer. And that one's going to go up a layer. So I'm looking over here to see what I've selected in case that's not obvious. So anyway. Okay. I may have gone a little too far on that too, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. There it is. There's my battle map for the rescue of the Cyclops. And I'll put my Cyclops over there on the stump. My giants will be sitting around the campfire, and they'll be having a conversation. My players, we're going to come in. They're going to come in this top up here to the north, and hopefully over here, and we'll see what goes on from there. If they can, the giants are stupid, so if they can convince the giants to, wander off or leave them alone or something, then that'll be fine. But it's more likely they have to fight the giants, which will be fun because these kids enjoy the combat part. So anyway, hey, that's what I'm making. That's what I've done. And I'm going to wrap it up now. But thank you for watching this. And thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Mr. Mimkins, for jumping in here and hopefully enjoying my map making stream that I've done. Had never streamed this before, so it's kind of fun to do it live. And thankful for the Discord of the Hired Swords because I was able to get people to actually watch me. But anyway, here it is. That's it. Thank you very much. And I'm going to see everybody. I'll see everybody next time. Bye-bye.